when I posted the video that now has gone very widespread. I was sitting here in the studio, I didn't have makeup on, I was ready to film a makeup try on, and I received a text from James Charles. I was completely blindsided and my emotions just got the best of me. I never jumped straight to social, but I was just like so gutted. And it is more than one thing, and it wasn't specifically just about vitamins or about Halo, but it was just about being lied to and feeling disrespected. And, you know, James Charles, he had 9 days after Coachella to talk to me. He knows where I live. It's not far from him. He could have come face to face and chatted with me because he knew that this would hurt me. We've had plenty of in-person conversations that were at length about other influencers doing the same deal and him not liking sugar bear hair and dragging the other people and being like, Tati, I'm on your side. Like, you've got me. Like, I will support you. So I always felt really comfortable with that. And I, of course, to not even get a phone call, to not even get a text a few days prior, but right after that sponsored post went up, to have a text like, hey mom, love you, I'm stressed. Just so you know, XYZ, I just did this post, but it's no big. And that's pretty typical of James Charles's behavior from the time that I met him when he was 17, before he really had taken off on YouTube at all. I know that he has a way of just getting what he wants. And I've always blamed it on his age. I've been like, oh, he'll grow up. Like, it's fine. He'll grow up. Like, there's something about him that I just adore and love, and he'll grow out of this and he'll mature. And I want to be someone that can give him solid advice. And there's something in my heart that is pulled to him, and I love him, and I am there for this kid. I want to say that I don't know Gabriel Zamora. We've never had any beef, but we are not friends. Majority of the time that I've spent with Gabriel Zamora was in James Charles's kitchen, which was not too long ago. Before that, I'd maybe give him a hug. Hi, how are you? At like a couple of events. In Gabriel's video, something that I thought was really offensive was the insinuation that my relationship with James Charles was transactional, and that I would be crazy to think that I had an exclusive with him when it came to my vitamins. Everybody was hanging out behind closed doors. I know that James Charles was very, very upset and obviously venting to his friends, which in turn, for whatever reason, made Gabriel Zamora feel empowered enough to call me out by name. There's so much going on with James Charles right now that I do not support, that I do not agree with. Fame, power, and a fat bank account will change almost anyone. And if you don't have people that will tell you to your face that you're doing the wrong things, you will change. And I tried to be that person for you, James. I really tried. I don't think there's any getting through to you, and I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want to be associated with you. And I need to say that very publicly so that this chapter can just be closed. The moment that everything kicked off, he started panicking, he was texting me, and then it got increasingly demanding. And I don't deal well with someone telling me that I need to accept an apology on their terms to fix their problem. When you can't have any emotion for the other person who loves you so much, and all you're caring about is your image, and that people are questioning if it's you, and people are commenting, and that's what you're worried about, I'm not okay with that. I found out that he had been giving his side to drama channels. He had been in contact with plenty of them. I immediately knew that this was all about damage control. This person is someone that I absolutely loved, cared for, and would have spent all the time in the world protecting. But he's just too far gone at this point, and the behavior that I don't think I can even talk about, like the DMs that I'm getting and the things that I'm hearing, are so gross that I don't think that I can protect that, and I don't think I can help that, and I have to let this go. There was speculation when Shane Dawson came over to hang out with me, who I adore. I don't know terribly well. We've been talking for a couple of months. The day that he came over, where we were just playing with makeup, like that had been planned for a very long time. We had been talking, that date had been set before all of this kicked up. And I just Like, I can't help but think that James Charles felt like that was somehow like some sneaky thing that happened, because his ego is so big that he will think that everything is about him. So that visit had nothing to do with me sneaking around and like really manipulating the situation at all. He always told me that I was the reason that he wanted to get into makeup, and I was the reason that he was inspired. I was constantly like, you're talented, you've got this, keep going. What do you need? How can I help you? I had a lot of influence at the time. You know, my channel was much bigger. Come on my channel, do my makeup. You know, we started talking pre-CoverGirl, so we're talking before everything exploded. I invited him to my wedding. He didn't have money for the flight or hotel, so I paid for that happily. And he felt a little bit bad about it. And I was like, hey, like, let's just have fun, and you can do my makeup for my wedding and help me out. My husband, he ran an agency. He was the VP of motion pictures. He knows the industry through and through. I don't talk about that end of my husband's career too often. He's so gifted with his view of how deals, contracts, business development, he's a master at it, and I love his brilliant mind. Anytime that James would need help, he'd be like, Dad, what should I do? And he'd come over and he'd be like, I don't like my manager, will you manage me? And James is like, no, I'm not doing that, I don't do that anymore, but your family, how can I help you? My husband would spend hours on the phone looking over contracts, getting him in a better position. He was making $90 a video, and because of me and my husband, he was making $2,500 immediately from a switch being flipped because his former management did not go in and do that for him. It's just really funny that we didn't end up collabing until it was in his favor. So he was popping off online about exposing the beauty community and doing a docu-series, and I was like, no. How entitled do you have to be to think that you have it rough? You are a 19-year-old millionaire. You do not get to wake up and, you know, stress out about how unfair your job is. It was really hard to see the way he was treating Marlena from Makeup Geek. Like, I did not like that. I also don't think that it's cool to publicly shame a woman who paved the way. His audience is made up of 12 to 14-year-olds. Everything is over-sexualized, and that's the huge underlayer to this all that I finally have had enough. The last phone conversation that James Charles and I had, he said some things telling me about a situation that happened in Seattle at my birthday, and it literally made me want to vomit. Oh my God, you tried to trick a straight man into thinking he's gay yet again, and somehow you're the victim. You know, it's really disgusting to manipulate someone's sexuality, especially when they are still, you know, emerging into adulthood and don't quite have everything figured out. You are using your fame, your power, your money to play with people's emotions. You're threatening to ruin them. You're threatening to embarrass them. And you're doing that to have them behave sexually in your favor, even if they're straight. And you know what? That's not okay. Cracking someone's sexuality is not an escape room. This is shit that will follow them for the rest of their lives. And you need someone to tell you to stop it. And that's exactly what I did in your kitchen in front of Gabriel Zamora. His parents came to visit. They had dinner over at my house and they were lovely. And you guys loved meeting his parents. James even then was saying to his dad that every man is a little bit gay, and that there's no such thing as a straight man. Talking about that at the dinner table with his parents was kind of weird. Him talking explicitly about sex and things that he would like to do. And I was just like, I thought around his parents that he would not behave this way. Like, it was just like, no big deal. Like sucking dick and cock. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, time and place. And you did it at my birthday dinner, talking in detail about things you wanted to do to the waiter. And when I said, James, he's straight, your response was, doesn't matter, I'm a celebrity. So freaking gross. When James Charles's parents left my home, Christy, you grabbed my hand and you said, thank you for looking out for my boys, like keep looking out for them. And I have, and I'm handing that back to you. you need to not be on Instagram liking comments and sharing with people that you're disappointed that I'm upset. You need to be not on Instagram. You need to be here in LA because your boys need you. I also want to tell you guys, add insult to injury. The Sugar Bear hair thing, that was a blatant lie. Like, come on. You went to Coachella, somehow had a security issue, and magically Sugar Bear Hair is there with a contract in hand to save the day for you and all of your friends. No company would ever go out of their way to have an extra, handful of passes that cost thousands of dollars a piece, like just in case. There's value there and there's a value exchange. And if you don't have my back, at least have your subscribers back, dude. Like, are you kidding me? You say you don't like this brand at all, and that it would be embarrassing. So like, stick with that. Like, stick to what you speak, practice what you preach. You say that you're the realist, you can't be bought. Well, you just were. A lot of people are like, what was he supposed to do? It's dangerous. It's like, leave, go home. It's a couple days of your life. It'll happen again next year. Bring security next time. Have some loyalty to that fan base who has put all that money into your bank account instead of lying to them. Because you say you don't like the brand. You, I'm sure, hadn't tried the product for more than a week because they offered you that deal on the spot at Coachella, and 9 days later you had the story. So you hadn't even tried it for a full month. You should have walked away. You should have held on to your integrity. You're a phony. I know that now. I know that you're easily bought, that a good time is more important to you than your integrity. And if everybody's like, oh, come on, a 10-second ad, it means nothing. If it meant nothing, they would have just said, have the security and safety. Don't worry about us. I don't think marketing sleep pills to children is like a good idea at all. I would never do that ever in a million years. Bad role modeling. I just think that swipe up with a tracking code and hashtag ad that had to stay up for 24 hours, by the way, I think that was planned out, and I'm not good with that. Like, you threw me under the bus. You knew how much it would hurt. I told you, like, I texted you, hey, I'll give you a sponsorship if you want one. Like, don't do this, it will hurt me. It just was the timing of it all, off the heels of me finding out about ways that you've been behaving that I don't agree with, for you to lie to me and make me the villain and go around and circulate a story to work on your side, saying that I'm loving the drama because it's improving sales. That's not the case. You're my family. I love you still. This is not about money. You don't get to the success that James Charles has without knowing how to work someone, and I don't want to be worked. I don't want to be manipulated, and I tried everything that I could, but I don't matter to him right now. I'm only a piece in his game, and everything's a game, and I'm tapping out. He knows a lot of my business detail. He knows a lot of what's around the corner for me and my brand. I've been very open with him, and he could completely try to retaliate and do weird things, and I guess I have to kind of be prepared for that. But it is what it is. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep filming because I love what I do, and that's what matters the most to me. I want to create great content that makes you guys escape this nasty world.